Good morning. How are you all today? Oh, are we ready?
Yeah.
A little bit of wetness, it lubricates us, right? Doesn't slow us down at all. So how do I look? I'm glad you asked. Looks like it may be cleaning up a little bit. Hope rings eternal, right? Okay, off we go. I see some real encouraging news. I think I see a sign. Hope is on the way. That's what we need. Thank you, Salvation Army, including Emergency Disaster Services. Good morning, Salvation Army. How
are you?
Good.
Anyway,
and so you were one of the four announcers here, aren't you?
There's three locations, two at each one. And look over there, the blue sky.
I can't believe it. Yeah, the blue is coming through. There we can see it. Look at that.
Welcome to the Petaluma American Legion Veterans Day Parade. We're happy that you could all come. Wonderful that you can be here. This is our American Legion pop-up. We sponsor the parade every year. Our American Legion Post benefits programs in our city.
Right.
Right here we have leading the way is the Petaluma Police Department. And after them will be the U.S. Army Color Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard Color Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard Honor Platoon, and the U.S. Coast Guard Strike Team. The Strike Team, a unit within the U.S. Coast Guard National Strike Force, is a vital national asset for emergency and environmental responses. These brave service members are on the front line when disaster strikes, providing critical response to protect our environment and communities. The members of the Pacific Strike Team typically deploy for 120 to 190 days per year and are specially trained in hazardous materials identification and response, confined space entry and rescue, critical incident search and rescue, and emergency management.
After the strike team, we've got the U.S. Coast Guard Type 3 engine, 98. Behind that we have the U.S. Coast Guard.
And following up the Coast Guard is the American Legion Riders, Chapter 28. The American Legion Riders are a group of motorcycle enthusiasts and members of the American Legion who support the Legions and ideals. The group fundraises and supports local groups and charities, led by Director Mike Johnson and featuring a Veterans Parade organizer, Joe Noriel. The American Legion Riders, Chapter 28. Next up, Redwood Empire Military Women. Thank you for joining us.
Currently, there are over 2 million women veterans nationwide. We are the sisterhood that is all-inclusive of all branches of the service: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, which include retired and active duty military personnel. It is featuring the United States Coast Guard Executive Officer, Catherine Sear. Next, we have the MARIN Mounted Sheriff's Posse. It was established in 1945 as a unit to assist the sheriff and maintain the western heritage of our county. The posse is a search and rescue unit available on call to search the rugged terrains of Marin County and throughout Northern California. The unit is used by Sheriff Jamie Scardinia as a ceremonial color guard for parades and other requirements of the sheriff.
Next up, Pete Ogburn, World War II veteran, Navy from 1942 to 1946. He was part of the first wave on Omaha Beach, a medic on LCT 324, Normandy D-Day from Sebastopol.
Next we have the retired Sergeant Major John FINKBOHNER, 96-year-old, served 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. He was the prior commander of American Legion Post 28 in Petaluma. Give it up for the retired Sergeant Major.
Next up, Korean War veterans served in the most brutal conditions, often called the Forgotten War. Today, you are not forgotten. Please visit the Korean War Memorial at Walnut Park after the parade. And then we have Ernest Reno, Korean War veteran.
Although I served in peacetime in Korea, I can tell you it was ungodly cold or ungodly hot and humid. So I can't say I did the hardships that these veterans did, but I tell you what, I can certainly empathize with them to a point.
Community for Food and Family Farms. Thank you to Food and a Community for Food and Family Farms, big part of Petaluma.
Hey, thank you!
Next up, we've got a long line of vets and vets.
Next we have Major Jim Arnold, retired. He was a U.S. Army Reserve. After that, the black vet, we have GI Butch Johnson, U.S. Army. Looks like Sergeant, aircraft maintenance during the Vietnam War. Silver Corps vet, we have PFC Tom O'Doul, United States Army, 60 to 63. And if we're skipping, it's because we don't see a sign, so it's not like we're intentionally missing them out. In the Maroon convertible, we have Captain Steve Boyer, United States Army retired, Medical Services Officer from 72 to 92. In the beautiful red Corvette, we have Sergeant Fred Cadoni, and I hope I say that right, U.S. Army 5859, U.S. 1st Cav, Korea, Chicago. In the black vet, we have a U.S. Army veteran Marcus Lino and Larry Lino, 1999 to 2019, and 53 to 50. Next, we have Staff Sergeant Diana Waite, U.S. Air Force, 1968 to 1972. And in the maroon Corvette, we have U.S. Coast Guard veteran Chief Warrant Officer Ogle, 62 to 84. Thank you very much. Next up, we have First Class, or E6 First Class, Keith D. Molnar, U.S. Navy Reserve, retired, 69 to 95. Hospital Corpsman. And in the blue Corvette here, we have Corporal Dave Dow, U.S. Marine Corps, 83 to 87 with the 3rd Marine Division and 1st Marine Division, and the National Guard between 98 and 2018. And in the white Corvette, we've got Command Sergeant Major Roger Appleby, retired, U.S. Army, and the National Guard, 31 years. Thank you. And in this nice classic Corvette, we've got PFC Mark Weston, 101st Airborne. Thank you very much. I was with 187. Another classic Corvette, we have John Dorn, I believe it's Eid. Close enough? Eid. Airman 2nd Class, U.S. Air Force, 1962 to 1966 with the 82nd Fighter Interceptor Squad. Next in the silver Corvette, we have Chief Frank, Borsellino. In the red Corvette, we have Sergeant Dave Phillips with the U.S. Air Force, 7071 in Da Nang, South Vietnam, part of the 620th TCS. This black Corvette, we have Master Sergeant Clyde Neal, U.S. Air Force retired, 57 to 79, radio operator on the C-123 Provider, C-130 Hercules. In the gray Corvette, we have First Lieutenant Larry Scott, U.S. Air Force pilot, B-47 Stratojet, B-52 Stratofortress with the Strategic Air Command. With the maroon Corvette, we have First Class Petty Officer Richard Jones, United States Navy during Vietnam, Brownwater Navy, the River Rats between 62 and 68. Another Rosie the Riveter. Thank you. And in this white Corvette, we've got Major Arthur McNay, U.S. Air Force retired from July 51 to August 74. Command pilot with the F-80, F-86FD, the F-102, F-106, served in Korea and Vietnam. And then the next white Corvette, we have Corporal Amber McNay, U.S. Marine Corps, 99 to 2001. Next up, we have Dennis Daly, U.S. Army, 71 to 73, Specialist 4th Class with the 11th Armored Cavalry, Bad Kissingen, Germany. And in the red Corvette, Sergeant Rich DeLambert, U.S. Army, Cold War, 57 to 63, Hap Arnold, 5th Army Headquarters. And in the yellow Corvette, James Martin, U.S. Army, he was a Spec 4, U.S. Army, at the 199th Infantry Company C, 1965-1967 in Vietnam.
Next, we've got the Vietnam Veterans Chapter 563 and the Vietnam Vets Chapter 223. Thank you for your service. Vietnam Vets Chapter 563 passing in front of us here. And next up will be a Vietnam Vets Chapter 223.
Vietnam Vets, Veterans America Chapter 563, we got Staff Sergeant Danny Christian in the maroon.
All right, now coming in front of us is Vietnam Vets Chapter 223. Crossing over B Street here, we have Friends of Veterans. They are a nonprofit group that is dedicated to helping veterans and active duty military personnel with unexpected financial issues. They also offer support to the USO and local veteran hospitals. They serve Fort Miley Hospital and Yountville Veterans Home and are local veterans and active duty personnel, led by veteran and director Del Avantes.
And in the convertible GTO, we have Corporal Fred Lucas, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam vet 6869, and Captain Brendan Kearney, U.S. Navy, 2003 to present. Thank you very much. And crossing B Street, we have Veterans for Peace, chapter number 71. Heal the wounded, honor the dead, stop the wars. Veterans for Peace are working with Rotary clubs to dedicate peace poles to all 200 schools in Sonoma County. Each 8-foot-tall pole has the phrase, "May peace prevail on earth," in up to 8 languages. They have dedicated 63 peace poles thus far, including almost all of the schools in Petaluma. Crossing B Street, we have the Santa Rosa Marine Corps League, Sonoma County's own Marine Corps League, Santa Rosa Detachment, number 686. The MCL is a group of honorably discharged Marines and Corpsmen. They are proud to serve. They put on the Marine Corps' birthday luncheon every November 10th at the Santa Rosa Vets Building and run the local Toys for Tots program. Their motto is Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Hoorah!
In the 1963 Chevy Impala, we have Vietnam vets 67 to 68, Jerry Segura and Dave KNEELIVY. Thank you for your service.
And passing B Street is Mike Ergo. Please welcome Iraq veteran Mike Ergo. Mike will be receiving his Purple Heart immediately following the parade at the Walnut Park Gazebo in the closing ceremonies. Please come and pay tribute to this local hero. Thank you very much. All right, crossing B Street, we have Peter Bradley. On the trailer is a 1940 U.S. Marine Corps 1 1/4 ton truck on a trailer, owned by Sergeant First Class Peter Bradley, a 17-year Army veteran of the Iraq War.
All right, coming on the flatbed here, Vets for Jesus was founded 2 years ago by Glenn Ross, Jeff Sutton, and Fred Ireland from the Promise Center, Santa Rosa. Vets for Jesus' mission is to form brotherhood and sisterhood for veterans and their families, built on Jesus' love. This is an Asper Trader in her 1968 Ford Falcon, cruising with her father, disabled veteran Edward James Trader III, Sergeant U.S. Army.
Next we have Old Iron, Lieutenant Commander Randall Parker, U.S. Navy, and his brother Gary Parker, driving a 1947 Ford 1-ton panel truck. This panel is a retired law enforcement paddy wagon Randy built from a basket full of parts. Randy retired as a Navy Reserve vessel after serving 39 years. Thank you, veterans, for your families and supporters of our military. And number 38, we have Vietnam veterans M38A1G, representing the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, Sam Calvert, Dan Calvert, Robert Jennings, and Dave Marinson. And crossing B Street, we have the Native Sons of the Golden West, Nicasio, number 183. Fraternal organization opened up to all Californians, established in 1875.
This is always one of my favorites.
Native Sons of the Golden West, we had the U.S. Naval Sea Cadets. This is the U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps and the U.S. Naval League Cadet Corps. They are a youth leadership program for kids between 10 and 18 years old, based here in Petaluma. Stop by their booth by the gazebo for more information if interested. And following them, we have the Civil Air Patrol, Squadron 23. The CAP is a civilian auxiliary of the United States Air Force, focused on emergency services, aerospace education, and youth leadership development through the cadet programs. This is both youth, 12 to 18 years old, and adults to participate in aviation, aeronautics, STEM, civic service, leadership, and physical training. Following them, we have the St. Vincent de Paul College Prep Mustang Cheer Team and the Mustang Football Program and Student Veterans Club. They proudly salute our veterans, led by Coach Bella Muniz. Please welcome the Mustang Cheer Team, Gianna, Bella, Morgan, Reese, Katya, Shasta, Alex, Isabel, Maya, Sabrina, Marion, and Addison, as well as members of the Mustang Football Program, Student Body, and Student Veterans Club. They say, thank you all veterans for your sacrifices and commitment to our freedom.
All right, next up is Leo Lane in a vintage Jag. In memory of Private Leo Canavaschini. And this certainly looks like the Petaluma High Marching Band. Pride of Petaluma, the Trojans Marching Band is under the direction of Cliff Evelyn, and Assistant Director is Neil Fontino, the Drum Major is Julia Boren, and the Precision Captains are Leo Rubensacker and Joey Jacobs. The students and directors wish to thank the Petaluma High School boosters and the uniform moms for all their time and hard work that made their performance possible today. The band will perform the Illinois March by Edwin Franco Goldman. And after them is the Kids Love Vets. Roanoke Park Assembly of God teaches our children patriotism and to love our vets. The float has been made. Crossing over B, we've got the Knights of Columbus. They're Catholic men who lead, serve, protect, and defend.
After the Knights of Columbus, we have World War I reenactors. Alonzo Chatan, I hope I said that right, lead this group of World War I reenactors, otherwise known as the First World War, between the 28th July of 1914 to 11 November 1918. I'm going to actually take a break here for everybody's favorite, the Huey, as you can hear that absolute iconic sound. Personally, my favorite of this parade, and it's going to make a few laps, I certainly hope. Anyway, back to the World War I reenactors. The fighting took place mainly in Europe and the Middle East, as well as parts of Africa, Asia Pacific, and in Europe. It was characterized by trench warfare and the use of artillery, machine guns, and chemical weapons. One of the deadliest conflicts in history, resulting in an estimated 9 million military dead and 23 million wounded, plus up to 8 million civilian deaths. Following, we have the Rib City Riders. It's a motorcycle club established in 1987 by a group of men, women, and U.S. military veterans. Rib City Riders started with a mixed group that were hardworking, family-oriented people that found value in helping others in our community. That value still rings true 35 years later. Rib City Riders is as diverse as the communities we live in. We share our energy and our ability to connect with people outside of the motorcycle community and to come together with other charitable organizations in our local community of financial assistance and support. Rib City Riders believe that it is important to help others to make a change and impact lives in a fulfilling way of life.
All right, the Santa Rosa VA Outpatient Clinic, locations on Challenger Way and Brickway Boulevard, is honored and proud to serve veterans from the North Bay area, providing medical, pharmaceutical, mental health, physical therapy, social work, and occupational therapy. And after them, please welcome Casa Grande High School Marching Gauchos. They're being led today by Drum Major Gustavo Marin Bonfield and Drum Captains Isaac Cooper and Brandon Carlson. The band is playing Manhattan Beach March by the great John Philip Sousa. The band is proud to be here today and honor our veterans on this day. Thank you, Casa Grande High School Marching Gauchos. Damon Connolly, who represents Sonoma and Marin counties in the California State Legislature. Assemblymember Connolly is proud to stand with our heroes, advocating for their rights and benefits and supporting our military community. On behalf of Assemblymember Connolly, we thank you for your service. Here comes the Huey. Next up, we have the City of Petaluma. A big welcome for Petaluma City Mayor Kevin McDonald and City Manager Peggy Flynn. And City Council Person Brian Barnacle, Janice Cater-Thompson, Karen Now, John Shribs, and Councilman Dennis Posake. Big thanks to Dennis, who is riding off into the sunset after 4 years on the council. Also joining us are Pedestrian Bicycle Advisory Committee Chair Amarja Tard.
Next up, we have Girl Scouts of Petaluma. Girl Scouts are the entrepreneurs of our future. Girl Scouting builds girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place and actively contribute to conservation, take action projects, and have lots of fun along the way. Thank you. Next up, we have Boy Scouts of America, Miwok District. Scouting America includes girls and boys aged 5 to 20, enjoying outdoor activities, learning skills, practicing peer leadership, and contributing to over 40,000 hours of service each year. Thank you very much. Crossing B Street, we have the Petaluma Fire Department. It is an honor for the Petaluma Fire Department to be part of the American Legion's Veterans Day Parade. Engine 408 served as a frontline engine from 1937 to 1960. Then served as a hose wagon through the 60s and 70s and officially retired in 1980. Retired Petaluma Captain Bill Ellie restored Engine 408 with help from local businesses, Jim's Machine Shop, and Shotwell's Auto Body.
Alright, and then we have Cause for Purple Hearts. It's a nationwide nonprofit organization with an office located in Pembroke that provides high-quality service dogs to American warriors and unique therapeutic services through VAs and local organizations. Veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, Canine Companion service dogs perform physical tasks for the human partners to enhance their independence. Freeman Brothers is always a huge supporter, but please welcome them to the parade as one of our main business sponsors. They were founded by 2 veterans in 1946. They supply local builders, homeowners, and tradespeople with the tools and supplies to be successful. The parade would not be possible without their generous support. Freeman's demonstrates year after year they support our veterans. Please support Freeman's. Not just our veterans, they support everything that goes on in Petaluma. Keep it local. Alright, next up, the Good Old Boys Motorcycle Club is a club with chapters in Sonoma and Lake County. They are involved in many different charities benefiting the communities abroad. However, their main focus has been to help the local veterans. Each year on Memorial Weekend, they host a veterans run at the Vets Building in Santa Rosa that includes a graveside tribute.
Alright, next up we have the NorCal Pin Up Girls. NorCal Pin Up Girls is a non-profit group of women who combine their love of pin-up style with the love of servicing their community. They have raised money and awareness for many charities from Alzheimer's Association to Toys for Tots. You may also see that. And again, it is very
Alright, coming across B in front of the museum here is the Cruising Boulevard American Graffiti Cop Car, a true classic. And in front of me is a member, the only member who was able to make it for the Sonoma A's. A Model A Ford was manufactured from 1928 to 1931. The Sonoma A's is a chapter of the Model A Ford Club of America. Their current membership is about 90 members, dedicated to serving Model A's.
And in the American Graffiti Blue Star, we have David Ford Turner, U.S. Marine from 88 to 96, Sergeant. And then the U.S. Navy from 1997 to 2001, Judge Advocate General. And next we have the Wilmar Fire, Gold Ridge fire engine number 8656. He proudly supports our nation's veterans, several of our crew and volunteer staff have served, and we are honored to acknowledge them on this day. Next up we have the Petaluma Salvation Army. It is a corps in Petaluma since 1888. With a mission of providing services and supplies to the community in times of disaster, as well as helping those in meet needs, everyday needs.
United Ancient Order of Druids of California is a fraternal, non-political, non-sectarian, benevolent order statewide. The Druids sponsor a scholarship program for graduating high school students, awarding 20 scholarships totaling $30,000 annually. For more information, check out the Druids website, californiadruids.org. Following them is the American Red Cross Shelters, feed and provides comfort to victims of disasters, supplies 40% of the nation's blood, teaches skills to save lives, distributes international humanitarian aid, and supports veterans, military families, and their families, military members and their families. Following them are the Sons of the Veterans of the Civil War, remembering the 160th anniversary of the American Civil War. In 1864, the war was in its third year. General Sherman's famous March to the Sea began this week 160 years ago. Sons of the Veterans of the Civil War.
Engine number 1472. I just want to give a big shout out to them for all the hard work they've had for the last several years, for all the fires up and down California. These guys and gals do an incredible job in their ICS system. Crossing B Street, we have the Ranch Adobe Fire. This California-built Indiana pumper was purchased by the community of Pembroke in 1936. Until 1975 and was later restored by the firefighters. She harkens back to the days of men riding their tailboard in rubber coats and leather helmets. Thank you, Rancho Adobe.
You guys know what number you are? 76? All right, thank you. There we go, the Pacific region of the Ferrari Club of America. Thanks for joining us. There we go. Hearing a little horsepower. That's a great color. Continue with the Ferrari Club of America, the Pacific region. Next up, Athletic Edge Fall Ball. Give it up for these fall ball baseball players and coaches from Athletic Edge. Since 1987, Athletic Edge has been helping young athletes learn life lessons and character like persistence and determination, getting them ready for any of the next challenges they face in the classroom.
Passing the booth is the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, Local 83. They proudly sponsors Helmets to Hard Hats, a national nonprofit program connecting transitioning active duty military service members and veterans with career opportunities, providing livable wages and health benefits. Next we have the GILOTI brothers. Here is the original 1914 Model T truck driven by a proud veteran, Austin Lewis, who is a GILOTI Brothers mechanic. GILOTI Brothers was founded in 1914 and is a fourth-generation family. Family-owned general engineering contractor throughout all of the San Francisco Bay Area.
We should have brought the bag over here.
And from the booth, we have University Institute providing counseling to veterans. Thank you. And this beautiful yellow 1920 Ford Speedster is driven by Ed Upton and his wife Donna with a Pinto engine. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Just rev that engine. Just throw it. There you go. All right, next we have the Nordquist Taylor Dance Ballroom Dance. The Nordquist Taylor Dance program teaches Sonoma County teens ballroom dance, respect, and social skills. Join over 400 students every Tuesday at the Santa Rosa Vets building. Enroll at Nordquist Taylor Dance. And number 85, we have Dennis Rasmini Construction in a beautiful yellow 1958 Chevy. And I believe we have a beautiful Ferrari that was a straggler from the Ferrari Club in California. Thank you. And then next up we have a beautiful restored tractor. It looks like it's the C10 Club. Ken and Tyler Martin with a bunch of tractors. Following them we have a 1951 John Deere Model B.
Crossing B, we've got Joint Forces 501c3 in partnership with Jane Dispensary. They invite you to Jane Dispensary in Katati after the parade for food, music, and fun. Free medicine for qualified veterans while supplies last, starting at $1,600, plus 25% off for veterans. All right, so we've had some vets building entries here. And we're missing the, oh no, we do have the Hummer. 31st Defense Legion 1985 Hummer, driven by Mark Wellis. Was originally stationed out of Fort Irwin Training Center in Southern California, privately owned for 8 years. Dan Vargas has also got a slantback Humvee in here somewhere, hailing from 29 Palms. And then we have Cruisin' North Car Club. Was established in 1987 and incorporated in 89. They were a 501c3, donating to many different organizations in the community, some including FISH of Santa Rosa Redwood Gospel Mission, the Redwood Food Bank, and local high schools, with our biggest event in October, Car Show for a Cause, benefiting Alzheimer's. Check us out. That's Cruisin' North Car Club. It's a beautiful selection of cars here. We have the Redwood Empire Classic Chevy Club rolling through. Looks like a nice long row of Chevys coming through.
This orange Chevy is riding it as Gus St. Marie, Sergeant E5 U.S. Army, 65 to 67, and in memory of Joseph Rocky, Sergeant U.S. Army, World War II. Thank you. And this nice, we're going to say Robin's Egg. It's ridden by Stephen Apuzzo, July 88 to 1993, Camp Lejeune, U.S. Marine Corps. And the black Chevy here. We have Tony Ferreira out of Petaluma with the U.S. Army Reservists out of the 91st Division. And in the blue Chevy, we have, it's being driven by Ron Porcelli, Air Force, 63 to 67. And the next one in the light blue Chevy, we have Larry Goff, U.S. Coast Guard, 1952 to 1960, Korean War veteran. Thank you. This next Chevrolet, it's in memory of Ralph Jensen, U.S. Coast Guard, World War II. Thank you for your service. And this gray or silver Chevy, it's ridden by Captain Teresa Piasta, retired U.S. Army, Iraq War, June of 08 to August of 09. Thank you. This beautiful Marine Chevy is ridden by James DeWitt Helms, Chief Petty Officer. In the Navy for 20 years, retired. He enlisted between 1935 and 1955. All right, just looks like entry number 94, actually, the North Bay Military Vehicles. Got some Willys Jeeps, and looks like a deuce and a half on the back. Typically, military vehicles like this, you can identify what unit they were part of by their bumpers. It's kind of like the license plate. But Eagle Eyes can probably, in the service, identify what unit they were assigned to. Just want to give a shout out to this young man in this tractor. It looks like his second lap here. That's a lot of pedaling there, man. Good job.
the North Bay military vehicle is here. And then we're going to roll into and rolling across B Street is a wine country rock crawlers. Is a group of enthusiasts who share a passion for rock crawling with their four-wheel drive vehicles. Membership includes patriots from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. We're privileged to recognize and honor our American heroes. This is the Wine Country Crawlers. All right, one final time, the Wine Country Crawlers. Thank you for joining us today. And coming across a B is Lumago, which is part of Petaluma Transit, proudly serving Petaluma since 1976. It is now, Petaluma Transit is now 100% fare free. There's no fare on any service, including Lumago, which is their new on-demand shuttle service. Learn more by downloading the Lumago app in your app store today and take a ride with Lumago. And finally, Meat Dad wants to thank all of our veterans. Thank you for your sacrifices, big and small. Tony Bartleson, aka Meat Dad, is a proud Sonoma County native. He has gained millions of followers online, sharing his expertise as a butcher for over 20 years. He has used his platform to promote great causes. Tony strives to continue to support his community once again. Thank you, veterans, for protecting our freedoms. All right, this rounds out the 2024 Petaluma Veterans Day Parade. Thank you, everybody, for coming and honoring our veterans. Please note that the closing ceremonies following the parade are at Walnut Park, just down here a couple of blocks, where Mike Ergo will be awarded his Purple Heart. We want to thank our main sponsor, Freedman's. And thank you, Steve, for joining me here today. It was a pleasure having you.
One of our longtime members, Navy veteran, this is Joe Morrow. Hello. Joe's going to be in the parade as soon as his right gets
Joe
here.
Michael Nessler. Good to see you, Joe. Thank you for your service.
This is a trophy that was won by the American Legion baseball team. They have been the state champions 5 years in a row.
5 years in a row?
Yeah.
Ah, you guys are you are a ringer, aren't you? And tell me about your golf swing.
My golf swing is in need of great help. You know that, right, Michael?
We're working
it's
progress.
It's a little wet out there today. Yeah. Well, the money from our American Legion Post benefits programs in our city.
Right.
American Legion Baseball is one of our programs. Not only do we have one team, we now have two. Two American Legion baseball teams for kids from 17 to 20. One of them's called the Leghorns, the other one's called the Academy.
Oh, the Leghorn, yes,
right.
Of course.
And we have a new field out by Rooster Run Golf Course, brand new field, just inaugurated last year. So Petaluma Leghorns and Petaluma Academy are American Legion baseball teams, sponsored by our American Legion Post 28 here in Petaluma.
It sounds like a field of dreams.
One of our entries down here is a project that we call Boys and Girls State. It's a model government. We send young people to Sacramento for an entire week every summer. They stay on the campus of Sacramento State University, and they make and create a model government. Last year they met the governor. They were very impressed with Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
And they stay there for a whole week and learn how to build a government.
Well, there's expenses the American Legion obviously have, but by getting donations that allows this parade to be free, right?
Well,
a big part
many
of
of the businesses in Petaluma are extremely supportive. I can share with you our biggest sponsor right now is Friedman Brothers.
Yes.
Friedman Brothers is sponsoring the Huey Helicopter flyover for today's parade.
That's going to be awesome.
We're going to have a P-38 World War II fighter. We're going to have a Russian Yak-11. We're going to have the Sheriff's Henry I helicopter.
Yes.
We're going to have a Coast Guard helicopter. And those are just the things in the sky.
Thank you, and again, thanks for everybody coming out. And then once again, thank you, veterans.